Welcome to the podcast for Kate Chopin. It is pronounced Chopin. Kate Chopin lived from 1850 to 1904. She wrote 2 novels and about 100 short stories. She does work mostly, as far as her settings, in Louisiana, and she does focus on the lives of sensitive and intelligent women. Her short stories were well received. She received good reviews, and she was one of the most well-known among American readers of magazine fiction. She wrote At Fault, a novel, in 1890, and The Awakening in 1899, which was widely condemned. Critics at the time called it morbid, vulgar, and disagreeable. In addition, her novels, as far as The Awakening and A Vocation and a Voice, were mostly forgotten after her death in 1904, but in the 1920s her short stories began to appear in anthologies. After 1969, when a biography sympathetic to the Awakening was published, along with an edition of her complete works, Kate Chopin became known throughout the world. She has attracted great attention from scholars and students. In fact, Sandra Gilbert and Susan Gabar in No Man's Land, Volume 1, The War of the Words, on page 81, suggests that there is an oscillation between dreams of miraculous victory and nightmares of violent defeat, between exuberance and despair, brilliantly depicted in her short, terse O. Henry Like, The Story of an Hour, which was published in 1894, whose heroine, Louise Mallard, experiences a private moment of ecstasy after hearing that her husband has been killed in a railroad disaster, but then, ironically enough, suffers a public shock of horror when she sees that her husband is still alive. Although her doctors, conscious that she has always had a heart trouble, decide she has died of heart disease, of joy that kills, Chopin makes it clear that her protagonist has really died of disappointment. In the hour when Louise thought herself a widow, free, body and soul free, there had been a feverish triumph in the woman's eyes, and she carried herself unwittingly like the goddess of victory. But if, in the first half of the story, Louise Mallard rose because he sank, at the tale's end her situation is opposite. She sinks because he seems to have literally risen from the dead. Although she has actually thought of her husband as kind and tender, she had realized in a brief moment of illumination that she wanted to live for herself with no powerful will bending hers. Yet the fate appeared to have liberated her has returned her to what she defines as captivity.